very carefully at your screen, you can see Burt Myers on pit road right now. He last week wrapped up his 5th Bowman Gray Speedway Championship, but he surely has had no fun here at all. Engine problems in practice, as Bob Dillner told you, then lost the rear end, and he was clearly involved in that incident up in turn 4. Crew's working on the nose of that car, trying to straighten out the front end, but we're getting ready for a restart as Burt goes down more laps.
Newman elects the outside. Ryan Newman, the leader. Bobby Santos, Mike Stefanik, James Savali, Eric Rudolph, Ronnie Silk, Kobe, Matt Hirschman, Rick Goodale. Eric Beers the top 10. Back under green at Bristol. Boy, that outside groove works. Watch the number 6. Ronnie Silk come up to battle Santos for 3rd. Silk to 3rd. Santos holds 4th. And here comes Old Blue, the number 3, Matt Hirschman, looking for 4th. Battle for the lead up front.
It's James Savali in the number 71 car. He has probably more laps here than any other driver.
Trouble, turn 3. 2 cars in the wall, and Jason Myers spins into it. Ron Uhouse Jr., who races weekly at the Waterford Speed Bowl, is in it. Andy Petrie. Yep, ESPN's Andy Petrie, racing for Speedway Children's Charities in the number 5.
Eddie Flemke just driving away.
And the 19 of Danny Hemrick. Oh, look at the way the front wheels are pointed on Petrie's car.
He's all done. He was the first one on the racetrack this morning. He was also the first one in the wall. That is a car that Andy Petrie hand-built, bolt by bolt, metal by metal. And there, 2 of them just got together coming off the corner.
Got hooked by Uhouse.
Yep.
From Groton, Connecticut.
And both those cars are badly damaged.
And here's Todd Zeged's view, remember? He started in the back and he got around that one. Tough break for Andy Petrie. He will go on the hook on this, the 2nd caution flag of the evening. Friday, Thunder Valley will be rocking as the wildest party in racing revs up in Bristol. Mark Martin and Scott Speed on trackside from Bristol Friday at 11 Eastern on Speed. Let's have a look at the point standings in NASCAR's Whelen Modified Tours. The North Tour, Ron Silk, Rowan Pennick, close. Todd Zegedy trying to repeat. Ted Christopher not here. Bobby Santos 5th coming into Bristol. Now in the Whelen Southern Modified Tour, George Brunholzl III trying to win his 2nd championship. John Smith, L.W. Miller battling for 2nd. Jason Myers, Andy Seitz, the top 5.
Let me tell you how Brunholzl managed to get so far ahead of everybody else. His worst finish all year was a 4th, and he was disappointed in that.
Wow. That's
how you win a championship. Finish every race in the top 5. He's won twice.
Free pass on this caution is Wade Cole from Riverton, Connecticut. Former home of Hitchcock Chair. Now there's Wade's car. His dad, Walt Cole, raced at Riverside Park with 6-cylinder cars all through the 50s, and when Wayne was old enough, he got behind the wheel and started racing. They don't have a lot of assets. They don't have a pit box. They have a small black tool chest and an air bottle and a couple of spare tires. And ignore those big war wagons because they're for the truck race that follows us later tonight. And they don't have a big expensive hauler. This is how they get to the races. Old style still works very, very well. Wade perennially winds up in the top 20 in the Whelen Modified Tour standings at the end of the season.
That is the only old Ram truck on pit road.
But it's a good one.
Get him here.
Hey, Bob.
I'll tell you what, tough break for the 19-year-old kid. The driver, the number 98, Eric Rudolph, started on the outside of the front row, but during the initial laps of this race, he said the engine felt like it was sputtering. They came down pit road. They tried to diagnose the problem. They feel like they might have a bad spark plug wire or 2. They've decided to bring that car behind the wall. Now, another car on the racetrack right now who we've documented has had trouble all day long is the number 1 of the defending Southern Whelen Modified Tour champion, Burt Myers, and he actually got some damage in that first incident on the racetrack, and he's got a bent spindle on the right front of that machine right now. Basically, Bert just said to the crew, boys, it just wasn't meant to be for us today.
Tough day for Bert Myers. There's Eric Rudolph in the Al Henke machine. Mohawk Northeast, number 98. Behind the wall and headed for the trailer.
And Todd Zegedy, whose crew had changed the engine, and Zegedy was working on that change as well. The backup engine not functioning properly. He entered this race third in points, Mike. This is really tough to take.
Go a lap down here. And as that change was being made, as you said, Phil Moran and crew working to change the engine. Todd right there under the hood with the wrenches. And Bert Myers changing his own rear end.
In the car.
Changing the car's rear. Darn it. With help from his team and Bob Garbarino's, who loaned him that rear.
Well, Ryan Newman has picked the outside lane, which has worked for everybody so far on these restarts.
When he won here last year, Newman led only 20 laps. The last 20, he's led 20 of the first 21 tonight.
Last year he saved his tires. This year he's going for it all the way.
Savali second. Silk third. Santos fourth. Hirschman and Stefanik. Beers, Kobe, Goodale, and Pennant. From the aerial view, green flag for the restart, and the rocket takes his modified off turn 2 with the lead. Savali holds second. Santos has finally figured out the high line's the way to go, and he settles in third. Silk and Stefanik for fourth. Savali looking for the lead. Not that time.
I talked to a lot of crews today, and the crew that was most confident that they had the car to win, Savali's crew. They were sure that they had the car to beat tonight.
They call Roger Hill's team Hillbilly Racing. Runs that number 79. Yes, his last name is Hill, and the team is located in Hillbilly Hollow, right near the North Carolina-Virginia line. But there is nothing backwoods about their racing. They are serious about it. They've contended for this championship before. They want to win Bristol more than any place else.
They run both the North Series and the South Series.
Fifth place, Mike Stefanik, 16, trying to hold off the advances of Doug Kobe, second generation driver from Milford, Connecticut. Single file, and Dick, I'm a little surprised because everybody's gravitated to the bottom groove at both ends of the racetrack.
Well, pretty much, but I'm watching Ryan Newman, Mike, and if anybody is up, it's him. He is running a little bit higher line in much of the corners than anybody else, but it's not dramatically higher. You're absolutely right.
And you can bet that everybody's spotter is also watching Ryan Newman and relaying his line to their driver.
Oh, yeah.
Car ahead for Newman. That's Jamie Tomeno after a stop in the pits. He'll go one down as the top 6 shuffle past.
Tomeno has been to every single one of these tour races and driven in almost all of them.
Bob?
Mike, you and Doc are talking about the line on the racetrack that these drivers are using right now. And I talked to a bunch of drivers today, and they said, you know, with the Camping World Truck Series here, they have a different rubber, the Goodyear compound that's being put down. They believe it's going to take until about lap 50 or 60 for the groove to widen out. And if you remember, we saw a whale of a race last year, and that was after the halfway point that groove widened out, and this became a 2 or 3 groove racetrack. Very good point. NASCAR's National Touring Series run Goodyear tires. Both the modified tours run Hoosier tires. Ronnie Silk, he's got his hands full trying to hold off Kobe in the 52.
Yeah, Kobe has absolutely filled Silk's mirror for sure. Silk currently the point leader coming into this race.
Speaking of points, back around 10th place. Rowan Pennick, the 93, Woody Pitcat, the 28, and LaJoy spinner down inside of turn number 4.
That's Patrick Emmerling, who also spun in practice today. Nobody else involved in it, just Emmerling all by himself. He's between turns 3 and 4 on the flat. You see how banked this racetrack is. Even the apron has got a bank to it.
It's steep. Bob?
Mike, sometimes when you have a problem at the racetrack, sometimes they keep on snowballing. In trouble for Todd Szegedy. The reason why he came down pit road and you saw that team take the hood off that car, a spark plug wire fell off, but Phil Moran and the team already put it back on. They're back out. Todd Szegedy, A-OK. He's still planning on marching to the front.
34 of 150 laps complete, at least one pit stop in the offing for NASCAR's Modified Tours at Bristol.